Hello, and welcome back to My Book of Mormon with me, David Michael. This is episode 61, and we finally finished Helaman in our last episode, and with guest Philip Wells, so that was fun. And now I think we're going into Nephi 3, 3rd Nephi, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, another book of Nephi. Yeah. Before we get started there, we wanted to thank our newest priestess, Priestess Bevan. So thank you so much, Priestess Bevan. It's been a few weeks since we had any priestesses join the ranks, so welcome to the priesthood. And I also wanted to mention that I made the January donation to the Taylor Scholarship. Took all the contributions from the MIMOs, and we got it all the way. It was a pretty substantial donation this month because the contribution levels that people have been contributing have just keep growing. And I actually did the math. And since we started this thing about 6 months ago, we have actually raised $1,500 for the Taylor Scholarship. I know, and that's just what I know about, right? I've actually had emails from people that have said that they've contributed to it or donated directly to it, which is fantastic. I don't for a second want to discourage that, but I'm just saying for the donations that I'm aware of, right? So either the donations that people have told me about or the ones made directly from the contributions from the Patreon, $1,500. So I just think that's amazing. And I just want to thank everybody, the number of people that we are able to help through that and to get through hard times. And in some cases, maybe even life altering situations that they're in. It's amazing. And thank you. And in addition to that, we, as I mentioned, for December, instead of donating to the Taylor Scholarship, I actually decided to give it to the Foundation Beyond Belief fundraiser that was going on, which actually was $300, and that was actually doubled by our friends over at Cognitive Dissonance who were doing a match. And so we got a thank you letter from Dale McGowan, who is the chairman of Foundation Beyond Belief, and sent a little thank you picture. So I'm going to post that to this show's show notes if you want to see the picture that Dale McGowan sent all of the MIMOs to thank us for the generosity to help their foundation. So awesome with that too. So I actually have a whole bunch of other updates I want to do, but I think I'm just too excited. I'm going to start reading. So I think the rest of the updates I'm going to do at the end of the show. So once I'm done the reading, stick around and you'll get to hear a whole lot more. All right. And before we start, everyone's always interested to know, when are you going to play along next time, David? Well, tonight's the night. I'm going to be playing along to the drinking game. I have no idea how rough it's going to be. Hopefully Nephi 3 is not as rough as some of the last chapters have been. We will see. But I will be playing along, and but of course, as always, cutting out the gulps. So you won't hear me actually drinking. Just you'll just hear me slowly getting less and less coherent. So there you go. All right, chapter 1 of Nephi 3. All right. And right off the bat, here it is. Now it came to pass, drink. The 91st year had passed away, and it was 600 years from that time that Lehi left Jerusalem. Ooh, 600 years. You know what that means, guys? I think it's time for Jesus. All right. And it was in the year that Laconius, I guess, Laconius was the chief judge and governor over the land. Okay, so the chief judge is also governor. I'm still trying to figure out this government. All right. Apparently, chief judge and governor are synonymous terms, I guess. All right. And Nephi, the son of Helaman, had departed out of the land of Zarahemla, giving charge unto his son Nephi, who was his eldest son, concerning the plates of brass. Well, hold on now. So Nephi was the son of Helaman, and he had another son named Nephi? Or is it saying that Helaman's son was? I don't think Nephi had another Nephi. No, I think it was just poorly worded. Is it the son of Helaman? Yeah. All right. So. Sorry, little distraction there. For a second there, I thought there was another Nephi, but no, it sounds like they just worded it poorly. Okay, so Nephi, the eldest son of Helaman, concerning the plates of brass, and all the records which had been kept, and all those things which had been kept sacred from the departure of Lehi out of Jerusalem. So there you go. Got to make sure we always know who's in possession of the plates. So right now, it's Nephi the third. Well, I guess it's not really Nephi the third. There's a third book of Nephi, but it's only the second Nephi person. Ooh, confusing. Then he departed out of the land, and whither he went, no man knoweth. Wait, who? Who's he? Did Helaman go out of the land? I guess. Yeah. No, because it said, and Nephi. Oh, God, I don't know. He departed out of the land, and whither he went, no man knoweth. And his son Nephi, oh, okay, did keep the records he stated. Yea. Drink. The record of this people. And there you go. So Helaman, he just, he up and left. There you go. And he said, enough of this, and peace out. Nephi, you got it from here. I'm just gonna go wander, I guess. Interesting. I don't know why that would have happened. All right. And it came to pass, drink. In the commencement of the 92nd year, behold, the prophecies of the prophets began to be fulfilled more fully, for there began to be greater signs and greater miracles wrought among the people. Are these the ones that we heard about, like the day not going away and all that stuff? Maybe they'll tell us. I don't know. We'll see if we can find out what these greater miracles are. Very exciting. And there were some who began to say that the time was past for the words to be fulfilled, which were spoken by Samuel the Lamanite. All right. So maybe some people sound like they're a little pessimistic. Like, come on now. Come on. Samuel said all this stuff was going to happen. Hadn't happened yet. So what's going on? Maybe he was full of crap. I don't know why they would be saying that if they had all these greater signs and miracles. All right. And they began to rejoice over their brethren, saying, behold, the time is past, and the words of Samuel are not fulfilled. Therefore, your joy and your faith concerning this thing hath been in vain. So yeah, some people not buying these greater miracles. They're just not buying it. And it came to pass, drink, that they did make a great uproar throughout the land, and the people who believed began to be very sorrowful. Lest by any means those things which have been spoken might not come to pass. Yeah. So, sounds like the people that were like really convinced that Samuel knew what he was talking about, and they're real sad now because all the doubters, they're just making them sad, making them sorrowful. But behold, they did watch steadfastly for that day and that night, and that day which should be as one day, as if there were no night, and they might know that their faith had not been in vain. So every night they're going outside, like sun setting. Dark again. That's awesome. Can you imagine? All right. Now it came to pass, drink. There was a day set apart by the unbelievers that all those who believed in these traditions should be put to death. Goodness. Except the sign should come to pass, which had been given by Samuel the prophet. Wow. So, they're drawing a line in the sand. And, I don't understand. Like, why are these people so obsessed with this? I don't get it. Like, some people are like, hey, I mean, imagine today. And then some people were like, yeah, I believe in UFOs. And some other people are like, well, I don't. And the people that don't believe in UFOs are like, okay, if we don't see a UFO by June 1st, everyone that believes in UFOs we're going to kill. Like, why would anyone do that? Who cares? Right? So yeah, if there's people saying, we believe, then eventually there's going to be a day or a night where it doesn't get dark. Okay, believe whatever you want, dude. It doesn't bother me. But apparently they want to put them to death for having that belief. That's weird. I have no idea what their motive would be, but that's what it says. So we're moving on. Now it came to pass, drink, that when Nephi, the son of Nephi, wait a minute, there is another Nephi. All right, people, hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know now what's going on. Did Helaman die? No, Helaman is dead. Helaman died forever ago. That's right. So Nephi had another son, Nephi. So they kept the numbering correct. Well, there you go. Man, this was not worded well, people. This is not my fault. Don't put this one on me. But yeah, sounds like we now have Nephi the third, which is convenient since this is the third book of Nephi. There you go. So it must have been Nephi the second who wandered off, never to be heard from again. Interesting. All right, so Nephi the son of Nephi saw this wickedness of his people. His heart was exceedingly sorrowful. So much sorrow in this chapter, isn't there? There's sorrow all over the place. And it came to pass, drink. Looks like this is going to be a rough one, guys. Already down one beer. That he went out and bowed himself down upon the earth and cried mightily to his God in behalf of his people, yea, drink, those who were about to be destroyed because of their faith in the tradition of their fathers. Well, now, hold on. I thought they were about to be killed because they believed what Samuel said. I don't know. But now it's saying it's the tradition of their fathers. I guess it's all one and the same, right? Because all the fathers have been saying Jesus is coming for hundreds of years. So that doesn't seem to... whatever. Okay, sure. And it came to pass, drink, goodness, that he cried mightily unto the Lord all that day. And behold, the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, that's great. I guess God was asleep. Yeah, he had to cry mightily all day. And God was finally like, all right, shut up. I'll answer you. That's fantastic. Okay, so God's finally responding after a day of being yelled at. Lift up your head and be of good cheer. This is God. Sorry, I should do a God voice for this. This is God now. Just give him the respect he deserves. Okay. Lift up your head and be of good cheer, for behold, the time is at hand, and on this night shall the sign be given, and on the morrow come I into the world, to show unto the world that I will fulfill all that which I have caused to be spoken by the mouth of my holy prophets. Well, so he's basically saying, hey, don't worry about that line in the sand, people getting killed. I'm coming tomorrow. Literally, tomorrow. There you go. That's convenient. Behold, I come unto my own to fulfill all things which I have made known unto the children of men from the foundations of the world, and to do the will both of the Father and of the Son, of the Father because of me, and the Son because of my flesh. I don't know what he's talking about, but okay. But, hold on, what is he talking about? So there's the person who's talking has only been defined as the Lord, okay? So we're not really sure if this is the Father, the Son. We don't really know. It's just Lord, okay? So the Lord says that he's going to come and to do the will both of the Father and of the Son. And those are both capitalized, which I assume means, heavenly Father and Son of some kind. And of the Father because of me, and the Son because of my flesh. So, but if you're saying the Father because of me, so is the Father not him? Who is talking? Weird. The only third entity which makes up the whole Trinity would be the Holy Spirit. So is the Holy Spirit talking? I guess. This is weird. All right, let's just keep going. And behold, the time is at hand, and this night shall the sign be given. I just gotta say, just for the record, God or whoever was just talking, I'm not really sure. It's really weird. I don't understand who would have said that, because he was talking about the Father being like another entity, and the Son being another entity. But he's the Lord. Whatever. I have no idea. Anyway, but why even bother talking? Like, I imagine it's a big deal for God to talk to a person, right? Because it never happens, right? So I imagine, it took Nephi III here. He had to scream all day long to get a response out of God. And basically what God said was, wait a few hours. We didn't have to say anything. He could have just said nothing. Because sure enough, that night, it wasn't going to get dark. So why even bother? Anyway, it just seemed like, if it's a big deal for God, if it's effort for God to talk to a person, it seemed like a waste. Just saying, God, you probably could have passed on that. Because if the night's going to be bright that night, then pretty sure everyone would have known. Just saying. And it came to pass, Drake, that all the words which came unto Nephi were fulfilled, according as they had been spoken. For behold, at the going down of the sun there was no darkness, and the people began to be astonished, because there was no darkness when the night came. There you go. Prophecy fulfilled. Got ourselves evidence. This is all true now. Might convert. Just saying. Right there. I had a prophecy, and it came true. There you go. And there were many who had not believed the words of the prophets, who fell to the earth and became as if they were dead. Okay, here we go again. They're ODing on spirit. Guys, I've been warning you. You don't just let all the spirit in at once. You gotta let a little spirit in at a time, or you're just gonna kill yourselves. So more overdosing on spirit, it looks like. For they knew that the great plan of destruction, which they had laid for those who believed in the words of the prophets, had been frustrated, for the sign which had been given was already at hand. And they were basically saying, well, we were pretty silly. We're about to kill these people for believing, which in and of itself you should be ashamed of. No reason for that. Seriously. What's that about? Anyway, and so now they're on the ground as if they were dead. Don't really know what that means. Does that mean they're in a coma? Does it literally mean as if they were dead, like they're not breathing, heart's not beating? Or just like they fell? I don't know. Whatever. Because then how would they... Because it's saying that they knew of all this stuff, but if they're dead, I wouldn't be thinking of anything. Okay. And they began to know that the Son of God must shortly appear. Yea, drink. In fine, all the people upon the face of the whole earth, from the west to the east, both in the land north and in the land south, were so exceedingly astonished that they fell to the earth. Okay. So we have a whole continent, it's collapsed. There you go. For they knew that the prophets had testified of these things for many years, and that sign which had been given was already at hand, and they began to fear because of their iniquity and their unbelief. Yeah, they probably feel pretty silly right now. Telling people they're going to kill them for believing nonsense. Turns out they were wrong. Oops. Sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I don't blame you. It did seem pretty far-fetched. But if it's happening, it's happening. I can't, the facts are here. Can't argue. And it came to pass, drink, that there was no darkness in all that night, but it was as light as though it was midday. And it came to pass, drink again, that the sun did rise in the morning again, according to its proper order, and they knew that it was the day that the Lord should be born, because of the sign which had been given. I'm telling you, I still haven't figured this out. What is causing the light? The sun sets, Something's causing this light. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess God just like pointed like a big laser pointer at Earth or something somehow. But anyway, sun's gone somehow. Bright as midday. There you go. All right, and it came to pass. Drink. Yay. Seriously, drink. That's cruel. That's mean. Give me a came to pass. Literally followed by yay. Mean. All things, every whit, according to the words of the prophets. All that drinking just to say all the prophecies are being fulfilled. Great. Wonderful. Okay. And it came to pass. Seriously, drink. That a new star did appear according to the word. The new star. I might have forgotten about that one. But I don't think that new star was what caused the night to not happen. But anyway, there's a new star. And there you go. And it came to pass, drink, that from this time forth there began to be lying sent forth among the people by Satan. I love this guy. Okay, so Satan is lying to people. Sounds like. No. Lying sent forth. Is a lying a thing? Is that like a name of a demon? He sent out lyings? I don't know. Doesn't seem that way, but I don't know how Satan is. I guess he's just lying, like whispering in their ear or something. I don't know. Let's see why. To harden their hearts to the intent that they might not believe in those signs and wonders which had been seen. But notwithstanding these lyings and deceivings, the more part of the people did believe and were converted unto the Lord. All right. This is all confusing stuff. So, every time it talks about either God or Satan, like manipulating, like messing with people's minds, I get a little concerned. Because we're always told about this whole free will thing, right? Then everyone make your own call. Actually, this book has made quite a point about free will. But then you have, these people, Korihor was the great example of somebody that really going about their life, and Satan deceived them and screwed them up. Right? And it's like, how is that free will? There was some supernatural God figure. I'm sorry. I don't know how else you want to describe. Satan's a god. Okay? If he has the power to manipulate things on earth and people on earth, he's a god. You can say he's an evil god if you want. That's fine. But he's a god. So, yeah, there's a god out there messing with us. And, and apparently there's a good god, or at least some people see him, that has the ability to, like, curse people and make some sides of a battle win and lose, and that's not free will. That is, that's not even remotely free will. But anyway, okay, I'll just move past it. So, let's see, we're on verse 23, and it came to pass, drink, that Nephi went forth among the people, and also many others, baptizing unto repentance, in the which there was a great remission of sins, and thus the people began again to have peace in the land. So again, I've said this about a bajillion times, but yeah, great. They got evidence. The entire continent got evidence. So good for them. Wish we could have that. Seriously, if there was like all of the, or actually, let's just go back. The current Mormon prophet, okay? If he stood up and said, hey, listen, everybody, God has revealed to me that next Wednesday, it's not going to get dark. Sun's going to go down, but it's going to be bright as can be all day. There'll be no explanation. Scientists won't be able to explain where the light's coming from, but it's going to happen, and it's going to be a sign from God that he's real, and he only told me because this is the one true church. FYI, want you to know. If that happened, done. He got me convinced. What else could do that? Anyway, so I'm just saying, I just think it's mean of God to give this entire population evidence and giving me nothing. This is mean, God. Seriously. All right. And there were no contentions, save it were a few that began to preach. Wait, what? Why would someone with contentions preach? All right, let's see. Endeavoring to prove by the scriptures that it was no more expedient to observe the law of Moses. Now in this thing they did err, having not understood the scriptures. Well, I don't understand the scriptures either. Are they gonna explain how? So, okay, basically, there's people saying we no longer have to follow the Old Testament law, which, thank goodness, is a horrible law. I mean, that law is like, the right conditions to beat your slaves and, awful stuff in there. If you rape a woman, how many shekels of silver you have to give the dad, and it's terrible. I mean, the laws of the Old Testament are just horrible. Under what conditions you can stone your own children if they don't obey you. It's awful. Anyway, so someone's like, oh, thank goodness. We had this Savior coming, so now we can just throw away this law of Moses crap, right? Because it's terrible law, and apparently that they were in error. Yeah, wrong. I don't know why. because I'm not familiar with anyone that follows that law today. Surely, somebody thinks it's obsolete now. Anyway, whatever. But it came to pass, drink. They soon became converted, and they were convinced of the error which they were in, for it was made known unto them that the law was not yet fulfilled, and that it must be fulfilled in every whit. Yea, drink. The word came unto them that it must be fulfilled. Yea, drink again. That one jot or tittle. Sorry, guys. Something about jot and tittle makes me giggle. I just love that phrase. I really need to start using that in regular conversation. Yeah. Next time I'm at work and I'm talking to my team, I'm like, all right, guys, make sure you get the job done. Every jot and tittle. I just wonder what they do. Probably, I don't know if they'd laugh or look at me like I've lost my mind. Anyway, okay. Okay, every jot and tittle should not pass away till it should all be fulfilled. Therefore, in the same year were they brought to a knowledge of their error and did confess their faults. What is their fault? All right. I'm going to take a stab at this and say that until Jesus commits suicide, yeah, that's when it's fulfilled, I think. And so until then, they still have to be content that, they're stuck being under this god-awful Moses law. Sorry, guys. I don't want to tell you. You still gotta beat your slaves and stone your kids. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. And thus the 92nd year did pass away, bringing glad tidings unto the people because of the signs which did come to pass, according to the words of the prophecy of all the holy prophets. 92nd year. How? It's glad tidings. It's wonderful. So peaceful. And it came to pass, drink. Now the 93rd year did also pass away in peace. Save it were for the Gadianton robbers. They're back, everybody, and dwelt upon the mountains, who did infest the land. For so strong were their holds in their secret places that the people could not overpower them. Therefore they did commit many murders, and did do much slaughter amongst the people. Did they not notice this night that didn't get dark? And somehow that was just like, maybe they were asleep, you know. Oh, you know what it is? They're a bunch of drunks is what they are. Yeah. They were probably like went into the bar right before the sun set, drank all night long, came back out, the sun was already up, didn't even notice that the sun never went down. That's probably what happened. Yeah. And they missed it. That's what you get for drinking all night, you robbers. And it came to pass, drink, that in the 94th year, they began to increase in a great degree. Increase. What does that mean? Because there were so many dissenters. Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about the Gadianton robbers. They're increasing somehow, because there were many dissenters of the Nephites who did flee unto them, which did cause much sorrow unto those Nephites who did remain in the land. I'm horribly confused. Horribly. How are people not convinced? Someone told them there's going to be a night that's not going to get dark, and that must have sounded outlandish. It sounds outlandish now, but it happened. Why would people be going and joining the robbers exactly? This makes no sense. But, all right, it's happening. And there was also a cause of much sorrow. I'm telling you, there's a lot of sorrow in this one. Among the Lamanites. For behold, they had many children who did grow up and began to wax strong in years. Why is that cause sorrow? And they became for themselves and were led away by some who were Zoramites. What the hell are Zoramites? I don't remember. By their lyings and their flattering words to join these Gadianton robbers. I don't remember who the Zoramites were. Doesn't really matter. Point is, there's Nephites and Lamanites who are joining these robbers. I'm telling you. And quite a gang that's gathering up there in the wilderness. And thus there were Lamanites afflicted also, and began to decrease as to their faith and righteousness, because of the wickedness of the rising generation. Those kids. Isn't that what it sounds like? It sounds like some old man who's like, back in my day, we never would have gone and joined those Gadianton robbers, but these kids these days in their fancy clothes, pants hanging down, and their music, joining the robbers. Anyway, okay. So, sounds like this whole Nephites good guys, Lamanites bad guys, sounds like they all have a fair share of good and bad guys. Which I actually think means stop calling them Lamanites and Nephites. Who cares anymore, right? There's one people, and they have equal amounts of good and bad among them. Yeah. Well, my Mose, that was the end of chapter 1 of the 3rd book of Nephi. So we're now jumping into chapter 2. All right. And then it came to pass, drink, that thus passed away the 95th year also. And the people began to forget those signs and wonders which they had heard. They already forgot after a year? How would you forget? All right. They completely forgot about this night that didn't get dark somehow. Okay. And began to be less and less astonished at a sign or a wonder from heaven. Okay. That's the problem. They did so many miracles. They just assumed it was natural causes. Yeah. So, like, one day, maybe they had too many nights where it didn't get dark, and they're like, well, maybe there's just like that new star maybe is keeping it bright, Yeah. If it doesn't seem like a miracle happens every day, it just becomes every day. Yeah, that's probably what's happening. That's my guess. All right, imagine, so God, when you're going to give people evidence, careful. Too much evidence might backfire. Sounds like it did here. Yeah. Imagining up some vain things in their hearts, that it was wrought by men and by the power of the devil, that devil, to lead away and deceive the hearts of the people. And thus did Satan get possession of the hearts of the people again, insomuch that he did blind their eyes and lead them away to believe the doctrine of Christ was a foolish and vain thing. Okay, said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know how we have free will when Satan can just lead us away and blind us, but okay, doesn't seem fair. Just saying. People go to hell because Satan blinded them. I get up to heaven and be like, well, not my fault. Satan blinded me. What do you want from me? Come on. Anyway, and it came to pass, drink. The people began to wax strong in wickedness and abominations. They did not believe that there should be any more signs or wonders given. And Satan did go about. Is he like a character? Is he walking around? You know what I mean? I don't know. Sounds like it. He's going about. He's just wandering around. Hey, everybody, Satan here. How you doing? Anyway, leading away the hearts of the people, tempting them and causing them that they should go do great wickedness in the land. I'd love details on that. Satan wandering up. What does he do? Does he come up to someone and be like, hey, I'm got a little something here for you. You want some of this? You want a little of that? I got whatever you want, man. Come this way. I'm tempting. It's tempting. Come on. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what he's got. I don't know what he's offering them, But apparently he's tempting them, and now they're wicked. All right. And thus did pass away the 96th year, and also the 97th year. Ooh, how exciting. Guys, listen to this. They finally figured out to just loop some years together. It's still going. And also the 98th year, and also the 99th year. Awesome. Guys, finally. We didn't have to have a verse for every single year. That's fantastic. And also 100 years had passed away since the days of Mosiah, who was a king over the people of the Nephites. Well, there you go. So we've had a 100-year experiment with these judges. I would say that time to get a king again. Judges not working out. I think I would have made that call like 5 years in. Maybe you've had 100. Maybe revisit your system of government, which has just continually failed in every level. Anyway, I'm sure they won't, but we'll move on. And 609 years had passed away since Lehi left Jerusalem. 9 years had passed away from the time when the sign was given. Ooh, okay, so this is the sign, which was spoken of by the prophets that Christ should come into the land. Okay, so this must have been that night that didn't get dark thing. Yeah, so 9 years since that. So, if I'm doing the math right, I think Jesus was roughly in his 30s, early 30s or something, according to myth, whatever. That's when he was crucified. So it sounds like we have about 20 years, 25 years or so until he's crucified, and then it'll be dark for days if memory serves. Okay. Now the Nephites began to reckon their time from this period when the sign was given, or from the coming of Christ. Therefore, 9 years had passed away. And Nephi, who was the father of Nephi, who had the charge of the records, did not return to the land of Zarahemla. It could nowhere be found in all the land. Why would you mention that? Last chapter started out with Nephi the second wandered off, never to be seen from again, and now they just thought they'd mention it again in chapter 2. Yeah, still haven't found him. Still don't know where he is. Okay, thanks for that fun fact. And it came to pass, drink. The people did still remain in wickedness, notwithstanding the much preaching and prophesying which was sent among them, and thus passed away the 10th year also. The 10th year? I guess they're just dropping the 100 now. Yeah, none of that. Just 10th. And also the 11th year also passed away in iniquity. I'm confused. When did the clock reset? It must have been that miracle night is when they reset the clock. But, that would have been, let's see, I guess the 91st? Who cares? Whatever. We're no longer doing 90s and 100s. It's now year 10. There you go. And 11 is, 11 passed away with iniquity. Okay. Which I guess is a bad year. And it came to pass, drink again. In the 13th year, there began to be wars and contentions throughout all the land. Of course there were. For the Gadianton robbers had become so numerous, they did slay so many people, and did lay waste to so many cities, and did spread so much death and carnage throughout the land, that it became expedient that all the people, both the Nephites and the Lamanites, should take up arms against them. I have to say it's about time. I don't know what they were doing before. I remember several chapters ago, they said they sent an army up there of strong men, if I recall, And they didn't win, and I guess they just gave up after that. And they're like, well, I guess the robbers can do what they want. And they finally had enough because they slayed so many people and so much carnage and death. So now they're finally going to do something about it. All right. Therefore, all the Lamanites who had become converted unto the Lord did unite with their brethren, the Nephites, and were compelled, for the safety of their lives and their women and their children, to take up arms against those Gadianton robbers. Yea, drink! And also to maintain their rights and the privileges of their church and of their worship and of their freedoms and their liberty. And it came to pass, drink. Before this 13th year had passed away, the Nephites were threatened with utter destruction because of this war, which had become exceedingly sore. Okay, not a good war. We used to get all kinds of cool war details. Now they're just like, there's a war, not going well. That's all we get. Remember a while ago, we had like good descriptions of these battles. Like, remember they were like making bridges in the river over with dead bodies and crazy stuff. You know, now it's just, war, not going well. What are you going to do? Boring. And it came to pass, drink, that those Lamanites who had united with the Nephites were numbered among the Nephites. Okay. Are they finally taking my advice and they're just going to stop saying Lamanites and Nephites? I guess so. All right. And their curse was taken from them. And their skin became white like unto the Nephites. Wow. There was the answer. So it wasn't enough to convert. They actually had to take arms and join the army of the Nephites. Well, there you go, everybody. All right. All of you non-white people out there, you hear that? Yeah. You gotta join an all-white army. Yeah. And convert to Jesus or something. And then you'll be white and delightsome. There you go. Simple formula. It's right here in the book. There you have it. I've been wondering a while. Like I thought, like if their skin turned, we would have known by now. Sounds like it hadn't. All this time, those Lamanites were still dark. Now they're white. That's great. Yeah. I love how numb I am to racism in this book now. And I'm just like, oh, isn't that interesting? Fun fact, their skin turned white because they joined the Nephites. Interesting. Wow. That is still horrible. Yeah. I actually feel that this book has corrupted me some, that doesn't, like the first time I read about the whole skin changing color, I was like, I literally felt like a knot in my stomach. And now I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Book, what are you doing to me? You've hardened me to racism. That's not good. It's like I feel guilty that didn't put a knot in my stomach. I actually got excited. I was like, oh, good, they're white again. I was like, what? No, that's not the right response. The right response is, oh my God, how racist is that? All right, so let's go back to that. That is really racist. Yeah, okay. But I don't think I really need to say that, right? It seems fairly obvious. So maybe I didn't even need to say it. All right, well, moving on. The racism of the Book of Mormon continues. Outstanding. Moving on. And their young men and their daughters became exceedingly fair. Oh, the racism continues. Don't worry. Don't worry. We have plenty more opportunity to be disgusted. Okay. So it sounds like all you had to do was join the army and all of your family became good and white. They were exceedingly fair. And they were numbered among the Nephites and were called Nephites and thus ended the 13th year. Well, there you go. Year 13. That was the year that a bunch of skin changed color. Now, if you were one of those dissenters that just didn't notice the night that didn't get dark, out drinking all night, whatever. If you see people skin changing color, okay, someone's race changing, okay, if that's happening, that might be a sign too. Just saying. So, I don't know. I'm thinking if I saw someone and I'm like, wait a minute, there's something different about you. Did you get a haircut? No, that's not it. New shoes? No. Oh. You were black yesterday, and now you're white. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would be confused and ask for an explanation. And if the explanation was, well, I did this thing with this God, and he did this for me, I would listen. That doesn't happen, right? Anyway, whatever. Okay. Still, nice and racist. Great. And it came to pass, drink. In the commencement of the 14th year, the war between the robbers and the people of Nephi did continue and become exceedingly sore. Nevertheless, the people of Nephi did gain some advantage of the robbers, insomuch that they did drive them back out of the lands into the mountains and into their secret places. There you go. So the Nephites / newly whitened Lamanites have driven the robbers off their lands and back to their secret places, which I assume is in the wilderness, but whatever. Okay, and thus ended the 14th year, and in the 15th year they did come forth against the people of Nephi, because of the wickedness of the people of Nephi, and their many contentions and dissensions, the Gadianton robbers did gain much advantage over them. Without the details, this is boring. Not really. It's just kind of like a wave, you know what I mean? I'm actually like, it's like you're on the beach, and the robbers are the water, right? And so they're like, come up, and then the water gets pushed back, and it comes up again, and it gets pushed back. It's like, I don't really care, unless you're going to give me some, like, seriously good story about it. But anyway, they're not giving stories, so what are you going to do? Back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And thus ended the 15th year, and thus were the people in a state of many afflictions, and the sword of destruction did hang over them, insomuch that they were about to be smitten down by it. And this is because of their iniquity. Well, there you have it, everybody. I love that. How do you know? Like, really, whoever's writing this, which I guess is Nephi the Third. So there's this group of people, they're in a battle, and as soon as your side starts to lose, right, then they're like, because of iniquity. No, it's because there's just a power struggle between a group of people. Nothing to do with iniquity. You can be the holiest people in the world and lose to a stronger force. Your iniquity has nothing to do with it. Whatever, I guess, well, in fairness, this book has said that sometimes God jumps in, so he's not jumping in to help, so I guess maybe it is because of their iniquity. Who knows? All right, looks like that was into chapter 2. So we have time for chapter 3. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. I think we got this. We got this in us. And now it came to pass, drink, that in the 16th year from the coming of Christ. Wait, what's this now? Okay, hold on. Remember I was trying to figure out when they reset the clock? That was like when the night thing happened. It says 16th year from the coming of Christ. Does that mean Christ is coming in 16 years? Or, I don't know. No, I think it means 16 years since Christ was born. So I think what they're actually trying to say is this is 600 AD. I'm sorry, not 600, 16 AD, I guess. They're actually trying to use like a real calendar now. Oh, okay. All right, so Laconius, the governor of the land, received an epistle. Those epistles from the leader and the governor of the band of robbers. And these were the words which were written, saying, this should be fun. All right, so the leader of the robbers has written an epistle, which we all know is a fancy way of saying letter in Greek, which there's no reason to believe these people knew Greek, but whatever. And let's hear what the robbers have to say. All right. Laconius, most noble and chief governor of the land, behold, I write this epistle unto you, and to give you exceedingly great praise because of your firmness. Well, there you go. Starting buttering him up a little. He's like, you know what? You're pretty firm. All right. So, all right, nice and firm. And also the firmness of your people in maintaining that which ye suppose to be your right and liberty. Well, he's really buttering him up, and all his people. I'll tell you, robber. You've been, I think you've been, unfairly portrayed. You're quite the gentleman. Yea, drink. Ye do stand well, as if you were supported by the hand of God, in the defense of your liberty, and your property, and your country, and that which ye do call so. The last part was weird. Moving on. And it seemeth a pity unto me, most noble Laconius, that ye should be so foolish and vain as to suppose that ye can stand against so many brave men who are at my command. Okay. Now he's starting to smack talking here. So he started out with like, you know what? Gotta hand it to you. You're pretty courageous. I mean, and God's clearly on your side because there's no reason you should be winning. None at all. But yet you are. And now he's like, but you know what? I really do pity you because there's no way you're going to win. I mean, I got you outnumbered and you do get that I'm going to kill you. I think is what he's kind of saying. This is smack talk starting. Here we go. Who do now at this time stand in their arms and do await with great anxiety for the word. Go down upon the Nephites and destroy them. Nice. So he's like, all I have to do is utter a word and this army's going to come down and destroy you all. Man, it was, This is quite the epistle. And I, knowing of their unconquerable spirit, having proved them in the field of battle, and knowing of their everlasting hatred towards you, because of the many wrongs which you have done unto them, therefore, if they should come down against you, they would visit you with utter destruction. Therefore I have written this epistle, sealing it with my own hand, feeling for your welfare, because of your firmness and that which ye believe to be right, and your noble spirit in the field of battle. Therefore I write unto you, desiring that ye would yield up unto my people, your cities, your lands, your possessions, rather they should visit upon you with the sword, and that destruction should come upon you. Well, there you go. So he's saying, all right, listen up. So you're going to die. All I have to do is say a word, and it's all gone. You're all dead. Slaughter you all. But tell you what. I kind of feel for you. You know, I feel bad for you. I don't want to kill all of you. So tell you what you could do. You could give me everything. Not just, hear me out. Everything, right? So, your cities, your lands, your possessions, just everything you have. and then I'll make sure that my people don't kill your people. They'll be completely desolate and homeless and have nowhere to go, but, that's kind of your problem, not mine, I guess is what he's saying. Man, these are some not very favorable peace terms he's offering, is it? Okay, or in other words, yield yourselves up unto us, and unite with us, and become acquainted with our secret works. Never mind, I spoke too soon. He's not telling him to just surrender, and his people are screwed. He's saying, join us. Well, there you go. This is an alliance. I don't know who they're going to fight. Seriously, if everyone's a robber, everyone, who are they robbing? Right? I don't understand these people. Anyway, okay. Become our brethren, that ye may be like unto us, not our slaves, but our brethren, and our partners of all our substance. And behold, I swear unto you, if you do this with an oath, you shall not be destroyed. But if you will not do this, I swear unto you with an oath that on the morrow month I will command that my army shall come down against you, and they shall not stay their hand, and shall not spare, but shall slay you, and I let fall the sword upon you even until ye shall become extinct. Well, there it is. Join us or die. That is the ultimatum. Not a lot of room for interpretation there. And behold, I am, for heaven's sakes, Gadianton, whatever, weird name, whatever, Gadianton. I am the governor of the secret society of Gadianton, which society and the works thereof I know to be good. Wait, you know that they're good? I actually thought that these people prided themselves on being bad. You know what I mean? But apparently they think they're good. And they are of an ancient date and have been handed down unto us. What on earth? What? I don't know what any of that meant. What do you mean, ancient date handed down to us? Strange. This whole group, I really wish we had, the Book of Gadianton, so I could, understand these people. They make no sense. It sounds like they're just living in complete anarchy. And they're just raiding. They sound like raiders. They almost sound like nomads, right? So kind of like Mongol hordes that are, that just would just raid a city and take it all and be done with it. But if you're saying, hey, everyone join us, and there's no one else, now you have nothing. Who are you going to, I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it. All right. And I write this epistle unto you, Laconius, and I hope that you will deliver up your lands and your possessions without the shedding of blood, that this my people may recover their rights and government, who have dissented away from you because of your wickedness in retaining from them their rights of government. And except ye do this, I will avenge their wrongs. I am Gadianton, he, or whatever his name is. Okay, so I still don't know. They want a government now? How? A bunch of robbers want a government? I don't get it. Someone, seriously, faithful mimos, someone please post to episode 61 on the website and explain this. These Gadianton robbers are honestly the strangest characters in this book. They don't make any sense in any way. They want a government now? Are these the people that want a king? I don't think so, because those were king men, and they were killed long ago. This is all weird. All right. And now it came to pass, you know what? Before I was arguing about how many drinks there were, now I'm actually happy to have one, because I need one. I took a big one there. When Laconius received this epistle, he was exceedingly astonished because of the boldness of Gadianton, demanding the possessions of the land of the Nephites, and also of the threatening of the people, and avenging the wrongs that had received no wrong, save it were that he had wronged themselves by descending away unto those wicked and abominable robbers. So basically he's saying, what the hell are they trying to avenge? Nobody wronged them. There you go. He's saying, he's astonished. He's astonished. I'm telling you. What are you going to do? What to do, Laconius? Laconius? That sounds like a Roman name, doesn't it? Anyway, now behold, this Laconius, the governor, was a just man, and could not be frightened by the demands and the threatenings of a robber. Therefore, he did not hearken unto the epistle of Gadianton, and the governor of the robbers, that he did cause that this people should cry unto the Lord for strength against the time that the robbers should come down against them. All right, there you go. He's like, well, he does have a point, that if he says a word, we're all going to die. Time for the Lord to step in. Come on, God. I love it. And I'm sorry, I've given up on trying to pronounce Gadianton's name. Whatever. It's just I assume he's not that significant. So I honestly thought I was only going to have to pronounce it once, and now it's popped up like 4 times, and now I feel bad. I don't know how to say it, so I just keep saying Gadianton, whatever. Okay. Yea, drink. He sent a proclamation among all the people, that they should gather together their women, and their children, their flocks and their herds, and all their substance, save it were their land, unto one place. What? I love they had to say that. Gather up everything, and come to this place, but leave your land. Oh, thank goodness you told us that, because I was about to dig up my land and bring it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Okay, so thank goodness they left their land in place, but they brought all their other possessions. Morons. All right. And he caused that fortifications should be built round about them, and the strength thereof should be exceedingly great. And he caused that armies, both of the Nephites and of the Lamanites, wait, I thought they were the same now. Or all of them who were numbered among the Nephites should be placed as guards round about to watch them and to guard them from robbers day and night. So there you go. Everyone is now fortified into one spot. I don't know if this is safe. I mean, first of all, I would have thought that there was a lot more people. I mean, how big is this place? Wherever they are, it's one place. But isn't this like a continent? Could you imagine? I don't care what country you're talking about, right? I mean, go to France and say, everyone, go to Paris. Like, you can't do that. There's not enough infrastructure to support them. And certainly in North America, everyone, one place. Like, first of all, the logistics of getting everyone to that one place would be astronomical. You can't just say it, and they all just magically are there. And then once they are there, is there any, how are they eating? You know, I mean, is there any type of infrastructure to support the entire continent? This is strange. Anyway, I'm just saying, I don't know how everyone in all the land should just come to one place and everything's just fine. Well, but they're being guarded. Like, I think there's other things to take into consideration. But anyway, they're being guarded, so great. Yay, drink. He said unto them, as the Lord liveth, except ye repent of all your iniquities, and cry unto the Lord, ye will in no wise be delivered out of the hands of those Gadianton robbers. Wow. So he's like, everyone, gather all your stuff, abandon your land, and come to this place. It's the only way you can be safe. And they're like, awesome. So they all get there. They're like, oh, thank goodness we're safe now. And he's like, well, not really. You've got to repent of all your iniquities or you're going to die. So it's like, oh, there's a clause? If the Lord was going to protect us if we repented, why couldn't we just stay at our homes and do this whole repenting business and the Lord protect us? Why do we have to abandon our homes and come here exactly? Apparently, they're going to ask for this God, right? If he's going to deliver a people, he can't go and, like, protect people over a vast land. That'd be too much work. He needs a very specific geographic location. So he's like, God, these are the coordinates. Protect this spot, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so that's why they all had to get there, I guess. That's someone else explained to me why. Doesn't make any sense. If God's God, and they wanted his blessings to win the war, just stay in your home. And, whatever. I think I don't know if I made my point or not, but anyway, it's confusing to me. And so great and marvelous were the words and prophecies of Laconius that they did cause fear to come upon all the people. And they did exert themselves in their might to do according to the words of Laconius. And it came to pass, drink, that Laconius did appoint chief captains over all the armies of the Nephites to command them at the time that the robbers should come down out of the wilderness against them. The details they add are so weird. Like, of course the armies had captains. What? Of course they did. What kind of army wouldn't have leaders? Anyway, but we don't get details about the battle. But they're like, oh, just so you know, the army has a hierarchy. Really? Imagine. Now the chiefest among all the chief captains and the great commanders of all the armies of the Nephites was appointed, and his name was Gidoni. Gidoni. That is a name. Gidoni. All right. Okay. Now it was the custom among all the Nephites to appoint their chief captains, save it were in their times of wickedness, someone that had the spirit of revelation and also prophecy. Therefore, Gidoni was a great prophet among them, and also was the chief judge. What? So he has no military experience at all. So the qualifications of this guy, this Gidoni, he's let's see, he's a prophet and he's a judge, and they're like, you have all the qualifications needed to lead an army into battle. Okay. Well, I guess when your strategy is pray hard and hope that God helps us, I suppose that actually is a pretty good choice. Like, if you actually wanted to win through battle tactics and you know, a good military, this would be the wrong choice. But if your battle tactic is just like, God help us, all right, I can get behind that choice. All right, Captain Gidoni, let's get on it. Now the people said unto Gidoni, pray unto the Lord, and let us go up unto the mountains and into the wilderness, that we may fall upon the robbers and destroy them in their own lands. So I don't understand what they're asking. So it's like, pray unto the Lord. Wouldn't you just be like, pray unto the Lord that he kills them all? That'd be easier. But it sounds like they want him to pray and fight. Okay. But Gidgiddoni saith unto them, The Lord forbid, for if we should go up against them, the Lord would deliver us into their hands. Why would he do that? That'd be mean. Therefore we will prepare ourselves in the center of our lands, and we will gather all our armies together. We will not go against them, but we will wait till they shall come against us. Therefore, as the Lord liveth, if we do this, he will deliver them into our hands. Okay, but why? Why, that makes no sense. So if you attack, the Lord's going to be like, you lose. I don't get it. Weird. But if they wait, so I guess the Lord, I don't know, apparently he loves defenders more than attackers or something. Weird. Whatever. And it came to pass, Drake, in the 70th year, in the latter end of the year, the proclamation of Laconius had gone forth throughout all the face of the land. And they had taken their horses and their chariots and their cattle and all their flocks and their herds and their grain and all their substance, and they did march forth by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, until they had all gone forth to the place which had been appointed, that they should gather themselves together to defend themselves against their armies. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly thought that the population of this whole land was more than tens of thousands, because that doesn't seem like much, but apparently it's all they got. In 600 years, all they managed to do, man, they have been killing each other a lot. So I guess after 600 years, all they got is tens of thousands. They haven't even hit 100,000 yet. Bummer. But they're all in one place now, so, yeah, okay. And the land which was appointed was the land of Zarahemla. Good old Zarahemla. And the land which was between the land Zarahemla and the land Bountiful, yea, drink, to the line which was between the land Bountiful and the land Desolation. Yeah, I forget. You guys know I've given up on geography, right? So moving on. I just don't. Whatever. They're in Zarahemla, which is somewhere. Great. And there was a great many thousand people who were called Nephites, who did gather themselves together in this land. Now Laconius did cause that they should gather themselves together in the land southward, because of the great curse which was upon the land northward. Okay? I hate the geography. I just can't get it in my head. And they did fortify themselves against their enemies, and did dwell in one land, and in one body, and they did fear the words which have been spoken by Laconius, insomuch that they did repent all of their sins, and they did put their prayers unto the Lord their God, that he would deliver them in the time that their enemies should come down against them to battle. And they were exceedingly sorrowful. Again, sorrow, because of their enemies. And Gidgiddoni did cause that they should make weapons of war of every kind, and they should be strong with armor, and with shields, and with bucklers. Bucklers, that's a new one. And after the manner of his instruction. Well, sounds like we have, that's a bit of a cliffhanger, but we are going to have to drop right there after chapter 3. So it sounds like we got ourselves a big battle ahead. Very exciting stuff. All right, guys, that's the end of chapter 3. All we got for tonight. But here's the deal. Lots of updates to give you. So first off, I want to make sure that, I know I mentioned this before, but everyone needs to go check out Cognitive Dissonance, episode 200A. And you'll hear me. I was the very first in-studio guest that show's ever had. It was very fun to do. And I thought, I actually, not to pat myself on the back too much, but I thought it ended up being pretty funny. So it's worth a listen. Cognitive Dissonance, episode 200A. And, yeah, and actually, if you want the very end, there's I've actually made the blooper reel, so the outtakes, right? So the last 30 seconds of the episode is a little bit of outtake, so it's pretty fun. And then additionally, I was on a show called Beyond the Trailer Park, and I was actually on there with our good friend Bryce Blankenagel from the Naked Mormonism podcast. They had a show all about Mormonism, and for some reason they invited me, as if I know anything about Mormonism. But anyway, so that was episode 9 of Beyond the Trailer Park, and that was a lot of fun. I was also on with Cash from Atheists on Air, and our good friend of the show, Heretic Woman. And surely you guys remember, she's left some fantastic voicemails in the past. So that's good stuff too. Both of those shows you can find on the website, mybookofmormonpodcast.com. And once there, you will see a link that says, I guess it's a page. At the top of the page, it says David's Guest Appearances. Click that, and you'll see every show that I've been a guest on. So you'll have to scroll down a bit to get to the to these two I just mentioned. Anyway, so there you go. You can check me out there. All right, so again, thanks to everyone for everything. You guys are all super awesome, and I can't wait to come back. It's always, I don't know, I miss you when I'm gone. Gotta be honest. I'm sorry. I know I owe you a couple of midweekers. I'm going to try and get some of those out. I know some of you I spoiled you a bit with all these midweek episodes, and now I'm doing these weekly ones. I'll do my best to come back to that. But before we go, there's one thing I want to mention. So you guys know that I was on the Mormon Stories podcast, and we had to do 2 recordings. So the first recording, I was a bit, I had just recorded an episode that had a bajillion drinks, and we ended up having to re-record. And the original recording I put up for all the Patreons to listen to, and I was a little bit nervous that like, maybe they wouldn't like that. Maybe it's a bit disingenuous of me to do that. But, actually got a voicemail from Jason Seawright, who was the guy from Mormon Stories who interviewed me. He actually apparently listens to the show quite regularly and heard that I was putting the show up. So he left a voicemail to give me his thoughts on how he felt about that, about making the original recording available. So I will play that voicemail from Jason Seawright, and then it will go into music. So there you go. So that is it for now, everybody. Listen to the voicemail from Jason, and then I will see you next time. So you guys are awesome. Love every one of you. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Behold, David, it is I, J. Nelson Seawright of Mormon Stories. And it came to pass that I was listening to thy podcast, yea, the great and powerful My Book of Mormon. And I did come to hear that thy heart did desire to release the audio of our first conversation, yea, even the drunken and abominable interview. But thy heart did fear lest I would become sorely wroth with thee. Behold, I am not wroth, but do rejoice exceedingly in thy works, my brother. What mattereth it if thy listeners hear me overcome with the spirit of contention, even to the point of murmuring against the holy things of God? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, it mattereth not. But remain faithful in all thy labors, that we may rejoice together in the fruit thereof. Behold, I bid thee adieu.
This song is licensed for use within this podcast. All song and copyright information can be found at www.mybookofmormonpodcast.com.